All right, guys. Now the recipe that I'm going to do for you guys today is a coconut soy salmon with a sweet chili pantry glaze. So it's going to be whatever you have in your pantry. All right. And now the first thing that we're going to do here is, as you see, I have a whole fillet of salmon. I don't do the individual pieces of salmon because I have a big family and they eat a lot. So I buy the whole fillet, and that's the way you should buy it too. All right. Now I have it with the skin on, and I'm going to show you how to fillet a fish. Now I know you guys have seen all kind of cooking shows and segments where you can use a knife, but I'm going to show you how to do it if you want to use your hand and you don't have a knife. All right. So pay attention, guys. All right. I'm going to get under here a little bit. Okay. Now you see right here, I've just made a little slit here just to give me something where I can grab onto. All right. And from here, you grab a towel, you grab it, and what's going to happen is I'm going to use my hand like it's a knife and go in at an angle and just start to peel it back. And you can see as I gain momentum, it comes off really quick. No skin, nowhere, except for the little piece that we cut on the side. That's fine, we can get rid of that. All right, so now we have our piece of salmon. Now, this is called the salmon belly, and this is the best part of the fish, but it's the pieces of fish that you guys probably never ever have because it's always filleted. And I'm gonna cut it the way that you guys have always seen it, like that. So usually these stay in the kitchen, and us chefs, we eat those when you're not looking. So that's what we do. All right. So now we have a piece of salmon here. It's ready to go. It's completely skinned. It's ready to go. Now, one thing that we're gonna have to do is, because I'm cooking for multiple people, I'm gonna have to give a score here so that I can pre-portion it slightly. Now, you don't want to put a long cut into the fish because as it cooks, and it's going to want to open up a little bit. So I'm just going to put a little light score on it. All right, and as you guys can see, I just barely put that in there, and that's going to be good enough because the marinade can soak into it and it'll naturally start to open up a little bit in the marinade. The first part of our recipe is to make the marinade. It's going to be a really quick marinade, and what I'm going to do is cut up a few things and then dump it all into a food processor, chop it up, add a little bit of oil, and that'll be my marinade. Simple, plain, easy. All right. This is some garlic, guys. We all have garlic in our refrigerators, and sometimes we use them and sometimes we don't. And the only thing I'm going to do is take a piece of garlic here. I'm not going to peel it because I scrub my skin when I buy it and I put it in the refrigerator, so when it's time for me to use it, I don't have to worry about taking the skin off. Plus, there's still vitamins and there's still flavor in the skin of your ginger, so you don't have to peel it. All right, I'm just gonna chop it up into my little food processor. This is some garlic here. Now here, this is all about taste. You can put as many as you want. I'm gonna put about 7 or 8 of them, and that's it. All right. Next thing, instead of using soy sauce for this recipe, I'm going to use coconut aminos, hence the name Coconut Bourbon Salmon. Okay. What coconut aminos is, this is a soy-free soy sauce, and it's made from coconuts, and it tastes just like soy sauce, but for people who don't like soy or have some type of intolerance to soy, this is a good alternative. All right, I'm gonna put a 1/4 cup in here. Now this stuff is strong like soy sauce too, so you don't have to worry about using a lot of salt, especially not in the beginning. All right, from here, this is Dijon mustard. We all have this in our refrigerators. Sometimes you use it for sandwiches and sometimes you don't. You probably have some of them sitting in your refrigerator right now with all kind of crust on it. So, wash it off. You can still use it. It's mustard. and it has vinegar in it, so you know the shelf life is pretty good. All right, and I'm just gonna put about a teaspoon, actually it's about 2 teaspoons, right in there. And here I have some canola oil, and I'm just gonna put 1/4 of a cup of canola oil in here, and go right in. That's all I'm gonna need. Goes right into my little handy dandy food chopper. Lid it up. I know it's a little loud. Deal with it. Now the consistency that I'm trying to get here is a paste. It's going to be one of those marinades where you don't have to necessarily pour it on. We can put it in the bag with the salmon, and we can just play with the bag and the salmon a little bit, have a little fun, and the marinade will spread. Okay, so now it's like a paste, as you can see. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a bag here, and I'm going to put the salmon in the bag, and then I'm going to put the marinade in with the salmon. Super simple. And if you've been drinking a little bit, this may be a problem, but that's all right. Just keep drinking, keep doing it. You'll get together. Whole salmon goes in, and the piece of belly that I cut off previously, that's going in too, because while everybody else is eating the big one, I'll be eating the small one. And all we're going to do is take it here and pour it right on. Maybe not that part, but just pour it right on. Now this marinade is really simple. Garlic, ginger, coconut aminos, Dijon mustard, and the last little bit of kicker is 1/4 cup of whatever booze you have in house. It could be Hennessy, it could be Paul Masson, I'm using, or bourbon, or whatever it is. That's all you need. The trick is for it to not taste like alcohol, but that the alcohol lends its flavor. And once it gets in here with the garlic and ginger and the oil, it will begin to, the flavor will begin to soften, and the alcohol will begin to mix in with the marinade, and then you won't have to worry about it tasting like alcohol. But the flavor from the alcohol that you put in there will be in there. And all we have to do is shake it out. Now, as this marinades, this is going to get everywhere, because as this marinade starts to pierce the flesh of this fish, the fish is going to start naturally releasing moisture or water. So it's going to create a little bit more marinade as it sits, and that's fine. And the only thing you have to do is, like I said, play with it a little bit. Get it going like this. And we're going to put this in the refrigerator for 3 hours up to 24 hours. And then it'll be ready to go. But because the marinade is so strong, in 3 hours, it'll be fully marinated. Tomorrow will be even better because it'll give it overnight for those flavors to really seep in. Now, don't be scared when you get it out and the color changes a bit. That's only because it's all the fish has actually absorbed all the flavor from everything that you put in there. So it changes colors when it does that. So, all right. When this is ready, we'll come back and we'll continue this recipe, and I'll show you how to finish off this fish. It's gonna be delicious, just wait. All right, guys, this is the marinated salmon. As I told you, if you guys look at the marinade, remember, I didn't put that much liquid as far as the marinade into it, but because it's been sitting for 24 hours, but you can do it for a minimum of 3 hours, it'll be ready to go. The salmon will, it'll start to leach some of the extra liquid to make room for the marinade. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, I've taken this out of the refrigerator and let it sit for about 45 minutes. And because I don't want very cold salmon when I put it on my griddle to sear it. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on here And as you can see, it changed the color of the salmon slightly. All right, so I'm gonna put it on here. I have a towel right here. I'm gonna pat it dry because I don't want any extra marinade going onto my griddle, because if I do, it won't sear. Oh, and we can't forget about that little salmon belly I told you guys about yesterday. We're gonna dry that off completely. All right, now I'll get that out of the way. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, I pat everything dry. It's sitting here ready to go. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. Not much, but just enough, because I like to see, I like a little crust from the searing. I think it'll do really good sear. Now this has been getting hot for about 5 to 6 minutes. It's blazing hot. I put a little fresh cracked pepper on it. Not much, because remember, also I'm going to be finishing our coconut bourbon glaze. All right, now salt and pepper, hot griddle. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn it up all the way because I want a really good sear. All right, ready? Down the griddle. A little better. Sometimes add a little bit more oil. Now, because of the marinade, sometimes it will stick a little bit to the pan, but that's okay. We want it to really get a really good sear, and you can tell sometimes that a piece of fish is not ready to flip, because it'll start sticking to the pan like that. So we're gonna let that go for a couple minutes longer. Well, actually for about another 20 seconds. Now, this is gonna go in a 450 degree oven. Yes, 450 degrees for 8 to 9 minutes. And then we're gonna take it out, put the sauce that we're about to make on it, and put it under the broiler to let it finish cooking. So now, we're gonna make a really quick sesame coconut glaze for this. Now, everything that I'm going to use is stuff that's already in your refrigerator or in your pantry. I have some ketchup here that was only a little bit of ketchup left, so I put a little water in it and shook it up. This is real cooking, guys. I'm trying to show you guys how to do it for real. All right. And there's a few other things I got over here. I have a little hoisin sauce. I have a little bit of oyster sauce. I have a little bit of sweet chili. And I have a little bit of honey. All right. Now, before, remember I told you guys, you saw me make the marinade for the fish, and I added fresh garlic and ginger. I'm doing the same thing with that. And because I scrubbed it when I first bought it, there's no reason to pill it. All right. So we're gonna put a little oil in it, and we're gonna blitz it up. Now, it'll be a little bit chunky, but that's okay, because we're gonna add a little hoisin sauce in there. That's about a 1/4 of a cup. I'm gonna add a 1/4 of a cup of oil. Here. 1/4 of a cup of, you saw that. 1/4 of a cup of oyster sauce. Right in. A 1/4 of a cup of the end of the bottle mayonnaise. Oh, ketchup. All right. A little bit. 1/2 a cup of sweet chili. That's 2 of these. Last thing that we're gonna add is 1/4 cup of honey. That's it. Put it in. We always grab a towel just in case. Makes a mess. It shouldn't, but sometimes it does. Close it together. Okay. Now the last thing that I'll add is sesame seed oil. I add just a little bit. And that's gonna round out all those flavors. That's it. Grab a spoon. Taste the flavor. Right on point. And so when this finishes cooking for another 6 or 7 minutes, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put my glaze on. I'm going to turn the broiler on, and then it'll finish cooking for the next 7 to 8 minutes on the broiler. And by the time you finish, it'll be nicely browned, and it'll be a nice sweet glaze on top of it. And we're going to finish over with a few garnishes. So when this finishes cooking, we'll be right back. All right, guys, it's been 8 or 9 minutes. I'm gonna pull out the fish that's been cooking at 450 degrees. And as you guys can see, I'm gonna turn my stove off and turn my broiler on to high. Now right now, it's just about rare. And so this beautiful glaze that we made, we're just gonna spoon it right over the salmon. Now because there's sugar, well, there's honey in this glaze, it's going to caramelize. It's going to create a nice little sheen because we use a little bit of oil on the salmon. Looks fabulous. Can't wait to bust into it. Yeah, I said bust into it. I'm from Flint, Michigan, so that's how we talk. All right. Now, there's a little bit left over for the table in case you want it, but we probably will not need it. Okay? My broiler is on high. And for you guys who don't know what a broiler is, most ovens have your broiler. Your broiler works a little bit differently from the rest of the oven because it is direct heat coming from the top of the oven onto the food. So it helps to brown the food very, very fast. All right. So I'm gonna put this back in for about 7 minutes. I'll see you. All right, guys. It's been about 8 minutes under the broiler. And we're gonna take it out. Turn the broiler off. And as you can see, beautifully done salmon. Now, what I'm gonna do, because you know you eat with your eyes, presentation is everything. So I'm gonna do, I'm going to move it here. That little belly piece is for me. Here I have some green onions. and some parsley in the oven. Excuse me, in the refrigerator. And so I put a little bit on there for garnish. I also have a squeeze of a lemon. We call it seafood and lemon. Goes perfectly together. And I found a few sesame seeds as well, which goes right along with the theme. And there it is, guys. It looks damn good. This is my coconut salmon, and it's delicious. Are you watching? Let you want some. There it is. So, voila, there you have it.